Welcome to the November edition of the 60 Minutes Vanity Fair poll,
where we reveal what Americans really think. I'm Callie Carlin for 60minutes.com.
And I'm Michael Hogan for VanityFair.com.
We start with H1N1. It's been a viral story. However, very few people surveyed said they're making any major changes because of it. A slim 2% are avoiding hugs and kisses. A handful, 8%, not shaking. When it comes to hand washing, 38% said they are soaping up and sanitizing more, which may be a nice stimulus for the antibacterial industry. But the largest group, 44%, said they haven't made any major changes because of H1N1 and are just taking their chances. How about you? Which group do you fall in?
Well, I happened to be in Mexico City when the outbreak first started, so I feel like I'm immune, even though I didn't catch it. But I'm washing my hands more. How about you?
I fall in the last group. Haven't really done anything.
Haven't done anything at all?
Nope, maybe I should.
Don't panic, but a little bit of caution is probably in order, yeah. Some of the biggest names in the Republican Party are working on their memoirs. Which tell-all do you want to read? Well, it seems Vice President Dick Cheney may need a new day job. Only 4% of Americans are interested in his book, compared with 7% for Laura Bush, 9% for Sarah Palin, 11% for George W. Bush, and 22% for our surprise winner, former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. Maybe Americans are more interested in diplomacy than we thought, or maybe they're hoping for salacious details of her close friendship with former President Bush.
Next, the moral pulse of our nation. We asked what Americans think about legalizing some controversial practices, ranging from sex to drugs and death, starting with steroids in pro sports. Sorry, sluggers, but the idea strikes out. Only 10% of Americans surveyed support legal doping for professional athletes. And there probably won't be a red light district in NYC anytime soon. About 1 in 4 people favors legalizing prostitution. Almost 4 in 10 say we should allow assisted suicide, and about the same number, slightly more, would like to legalize marijuana. So no surprise, Michael, when you break this down along party lines, Democrats are more in favor of all 4 ideas than Republicans. However, even among Democrats surveyed, there's not a majority of support for any of these 4 ideas, which I think would probably make our grandparents and religious leaders happy.
Do you use Facebook for professional networking? If so, you're in a minority. Only 11% call the site a great way to network, while 4% say they'll approve colleagues' friend requests, quote, only to avoid hurting feelings. And while it may seem that everyone and his grandmother has a profile these days, 60% of the people we polled say they don't use the service at all. 7% say they've never even heard of Facebook, which means you can write whatever you want about them on your wall. They'll never know the difference.
We asked which of these 4 events you believe will happen first, and there is not a lot of hope for peace in the Middle East. In fact, people have greater faith in the discovery of aliens. More than a quarter of people we surveyed believe that ending our dependence on oil will happen first, while 40% believe or maybe desperately hope a cure for cancer will happen before any of these others.
Texas was in the news recently when Governor Rick Perry dropped a hint about seceding from the United States. We asked Americans which state they'd cut loose if they could, and the response broke down along party lines. 15% of Democrats would call Texas's bluff and bid the Lone Star State farewell, while a full 22% of Republicans would like to see California crack off into a golden state of its own. But don't roll over yet, President Lincoln. A full 60% of respondents take the united we stand, divided we fall approach and want to see the Union stay intact. What do you think, Callie, as a native Californian, about Republicans' hostility to your state?
You can probably guess I think this is very unfair. After having lived in both a substantial amount of time, both New York City and California, New York City is just as liberal, if not more so, than San Francisco. So I'm not sure why those we surveyed are picking on California and letting New York off the hook.
Well, I feel a little bad about this one, too, because I'm married to a Texan, and I go there a lot, and I think, you know, it's a pretty great place. I wouldn't want to see Texas go. Then again, I'm from New Jersey, so I can't really say anything about any other states. We're happy for them all to be with us.
You can find a more detailed breakdown with all the results and take the poll for yourself on 60minutes.com.
Plus, make sure to check out an exclusive preview of our Robert Pattinson cover story at VanityFair.com. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michael Hogan.
And I'm Callie Carlin. Please bookmark both our sites, and we hope you'll join us again often.